He bought a second phone so his clients could reach him. I switched the SIM cards one morning. He got a call from Sophie while we ate breakfast with my parents. I answered on speaker. I'm 31 now. Married. No kids. I work remote doing billing for a hospital network. It's quiet, decent money, and I keep to myself. My husband Darren is 37. He works in real estate in Indianapolis. Has his own small firm, does all right for himself. We've been married 4 years. Together 6. We met through friends at a house party. He was tall, clean-cut, full of charm, the type who looks you straight in the eye when he talks. He made you feel like the only person in the room. I'd never dated a guy who owned his own place before or wore real leather shoes. Darren moved fast. Within 2 months, he was introducing me to clients as the woman I'm going to marry. I didn't know what to make of it, but I fell for him hard. He wasn't just attentive, he made me feel safe. Like he had a plan for us. We got married at a vineyard in Bloomington. It was small, just close family and friends. He cried during his vows. Told me he'd never met anyone who believed in him like I did. I believed every word. The first couple years were normal. He worked a lot, but I figured that's how it is when you're self-employed. We didn't fight much. The only real issue was his job always came first. I chalked it up to stress, not selfishness. That changed last year. He started getting urgent calls late at night. At first, it was once in a while. Then it was 2 to 3 times a week. Always some deal falling apart. Some buyer who needed to meet tonight. I noticed he stopped telling me details. Just said, "It's work." He'd come home smelling like cologne that wasn't his. Said a client hugged him. One night, he showed up at midnight with his shirt half untucked and no explanation other than long day. Then, about 8 months ago, he tells me he needs a second phone. I need one just for clients. Too much is getting lost. Missed calls. It's hurting business, he said. It made sense. Realtors live on their phones. But once he got it, things got weirder. He kept it face down. Took it to the bathroom. Slept with it under his pillow. Said he was just being careful. At first, I tried not to let it get to me. But the more I watched him with that phone, the more I knew in my gut something was wrong. Then one night, we're watching TV on the couch, and I see both phones light up at once. His regular phone buzzes, and while he reaches for it, the second phone flashes a name. Sophie Kissmark. He saw me glance at it and quickly silenced the screen. I didn't say anything right away. Just kept that name in my head and waited. I gave it a week. Then one morning, while he was in the shower, I saw both phones on the counter. His personal phone and his work phone. He'd forgotten to lock one of them. I saw my chance. I took out the SIM cards and switched them. Took less than a minute. I made sure everything looked exactly the same and put the phones back where they were. He didn't notice a thing. Now, anytime a message or call went to his secret life, it rang on his main phone. The one I had access to. But I played it cool. I needed the right moment. That moment came last weekend. We were visiting my parents in Evansville. My mom made a big breakfast. My dad was in a good mood. It felt like old times. Darren was all charm again, smiling, laughing, playing the part. Then the phone buzzed. He was using his work phone at the table, pretending to check a showing schedule. I looked down. Sophie was calling. I said, "Oh, it's Sophie," nice and loud, like I was just being helpful. He froze. He reached for the phone, but I grabbed it first and hit speaker. A woman's voice came through. Soft, breathless. "Darren, baby, last night was amazing. I miss you already. When can I see you again?" Silence. My mom stopped chewing. My dad just stared at him. I looked Darren dead in the eye. "You gonna tell them who Sophie is, or should I?" He didn't say a word. Just sat there, jaw tight, breathing hard. My mom looked like she wanted to cry. My dad. I'd never seen him look that angry. I turned off the speaker and slid the phone across the table toward Darren. "Go ahead." Call her back. He stood up and left the room without saying anything. And that was just the beginning. My parents didn't say much that morning after Darren walked out. My mom started cleaning dishes she didn't need to clean. My dad poured himself coffee he didn't drink. No one asked questions. They didn't need to. I stayed in the kitchen for a while, shaking. Not crying, just shaking. My whole body felt like it was humming with something I didn't understand yet. Rage, probably. About 20 minutes later, Darren came back inside. He didn't look at anyone. He went straight to the guest room and shut the door. I followed him. He was sitting on the edge of the bed, head in his hands. I didn't sleep with her, he said. I stared at him. Then what was last night was amazing about. He looked up. She's lonely. She says stuff like that. It doesn't mean anything. I laughed. Right in his face. You're saying you've been texting and calling another woman for months, hiding it from me, but it's fine because she's lonely? He rubbed his eyes. You don't get it. I'm under pressure. I didn't ask for this. You bought a second phone for it. She's a client. It started innocent. I felt like I might break something. You saved her in your phone as Sophie with a freaking kiss emoji. That's how you list your clients now. He didn't answer. That was the moment I knew. He wasn't sorry. He wasn't even ashamed. He was just cornered. I went back to the kitchen, packed up my bag, told my mom we'd be heading out. My dad followed me to the car. You're not going back with him, are you? He asked. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Not yet. The drive back to Indianapolis was silent. Darren didn't say a word, and neither did I. When we got home, he went straight to the bedroom. I stayed downstairs and started going through his things. Emails, calendar, banking apps. Anything he left logged in, I checked. I found a folder in his email called RE Leads. Hidden in it were dozens of messages from women, some flirty, some straight-up sexual. And not just Sophie. There were others. At least 3 with photos. One with a video I wish I hadn't seen. I took screenshots of everything. Then I started digging deeper. I found hotel confirmations. One was for a night he said he was showing a house in Carmel. Another for a networking event in Fort Wayne. All this time, I'd been home cooking dinner and folding his laundry while he was out screwing around with women he called clients. But here's the thing. Darren's real estate license was still under review. He'd let it lapse during COVID and only recently got back into it. The firm wasn't licensed under his name. It was under his business partner, Caleb. So I made a call. Caleb and I had only met once, briefly, at a holiday party. He seemed quiet, detail-oriented, the kind of guy who didn't love chaos. I called him from my work phone, just in case. Hi, Caleb. This is Darren's wife. Pause. Oh, hey. Everything okay? Depends. I have some questions about your business partner. I found proof he's using your company name to book hotel rooms for personal use and possibly harassing women while claiming they're clients. Long pause. He didn't deny it. He didn't sound surprised either. He said he was handling his own leads, Caleb finally said. Well, his leads involve a lot of women and a lot of lies. Caleb sighed. Thanks for the heads up. You should probably talk to a lawyer. I already planned to, but I wasn't finished yet. Over the next few days, I did something I knew Darren would never expect. I played nice. I let him think I was calming down. I cooked dinner. I made small talk. I even offered to go on a date night to reconnect. He smiled for the first time in days. See, he said, we're good. Idiot. Because while he was in the shower that night, I mirrored his second phone. Everything that went to that phone now came to mine too. Texts, calls, photos, audio. I had access to it all. And what I saw next made Sophie look like the warm-up act. The messages that came through the mirrored phone weren't just from Sophie. There were 2 other names that kept popping up. One was Tasha, who messaged him late at night, always asking if his wife was asleep. The other was Bree, who worked front desk at some gym I'd never heard of. She sent him selfies from inside the locker room. They weren't subtle. But what made my stomach turn wasn't the photos. It was how casual he was with them. Like this was just a normal part of his day. Like he'd built this second life out of routine. He had a different tone with each woman. With Sophie, he was sweet. With Tasha, he was rough. With Bree, he played the poor guy stuck in a cold marriage card. And that was what set me off. He wasn't just cheating, he was using me as a tool to get sympathy. He told Bree I was dead inside. Said I let myself go. Told Tasha I nagged him like a mom. Lied through his teeth to all of them, painting himself as the victim of a miserable wife. Meanwhile, I was the one paying half the mortgage. I was the one who kept the house together. I was the one who smiled through every awkward dinner and stood by him when business was slow. I'd wasted years defending this man. And now? Now I wanted to destroy him. First thing I did was contact Sophie. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just told her the truth. Hey, I'm Darren's wife. Just thought you should know he's not single, and you're not the only one he's been seeing. She replied 3 hours later with, wait, what? Are you serious? I sent screenshots, dates, photos, audio clips. She never messaged back. Then I hit up Bree. Same routine. Calm, cold, direct. She called me. He told me you guys were separated, she shouted. We're not. She was quiet for a moment. Does this mean you're gonna tell my boss? I could lose my job. I'm not here to ruin you, I said. I'm here to make sure he pays. Next was Tasha. No reply. But I saw a new message come through on the mirrored phone. Why is your wife messaging me? Are you serious right now? He didn't reply to her either. Instead, he came home late that night, his whole body stiff with nerves. You been doing something? He asked me. I just looked at him. Should I be? He didn't answer. Just stared at me, eyes narrow. Like he couldn't figure out if I was bluffing. I let him sweat. That weekend, I told him I was going to visit my sister in Muncie. Packed a bag. Kissed him on the cheek. Said I needed a break. I didn't go to Muncie. I went to the lawyer's office I'd already met with twice. We filed the paperwork. While I was there, I also filed a report with the state real estate board. Gave them everything, fake client interactions, hotel receipts under the company's name, messages where he blurred the line between business and personal. I sent an anonymous package to Caleb with all the proof I had. And then I drove to Bree's gym and dropped off a plain manila envelope with screenshots and a note. He used your place of work to cheat. Thought you'd want to know. But the real twist came 3 days later when I got a call from a blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. It was Caleb. His voice was tense. Angry. Hey, I don't know what Darren's told you, but he's been embezzling from the company. We found money missing, real money. If you've got more, I suggest you come forward. Because this isn't just about cheating anymore. That's when I realized this wasn't just revenge. This was a war. And Darren had no idea what was coming next. After I got Caleb's voicemail, everything snapped into focus. Darren wasn't just a liar. He wasn't just a cheat. He was a thief, too. And the best part? He was sloppy. Careless. He'd spent so much time hiding women and fake stories, he forgot to cover his real tracks. I called Caleb back the next morning. I have copies of everything, I told him. Bank transfers, hotel receipts, proof he used the business name for personal spending. I'll send it to your lawyer. You'll send it? Caleb asked. Why help me? Because I'm not just getting a divorce. I'm burning everything down. He didn't argue. That night, I walked into our house and found Darren sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a glass of whiskey he hadn't touched. His phone was face up for once. He looked tired. Hello. You talked to Sophie? I asked. He looked up, dead in the eyes. She blocked me. Good. You sent her that stuff? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. He stood up, and for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid of him. Not his tone. Not his temper. Nothing. You really think you're gonna win, he said. I didn't smile. I just looked at him and said I already did. Then I left. I stayed with a friend while everything moved forward. Caleb pressed charges on the business side, embezzlement, fraud, misuse of company funds. Darren was removed from the company within 2 weeks. The state board suspended his license pending an investigation. 3 of the women he'd messed with came forward to file harassment claims once they realized they weren't alone. Sophie gave up screenshots, too, some Darren had begged her to delete. But I wasn't clean either. I'd lied about going to my sister's. I'd mirrored his phone without his consent. I used his private messages and financials against him. Part of me thought I'd crossed a line, but that part didn't last long. I walked away from the marriage with the house. I kept my job. I kept my name. Darren? He lost everything. His business. His clients. His reputation. Even his car. Turns out it was under the business name, and Caleb took it back. Last I heard, he's working part-time at a real estate call center in Kentucky. He lives in a 1-bedroom rental with no furniture. Still tells people I ruined his life. Let him. He built that life out of lies. I just turned the lights on.